Hey everybody, what is going on? Simply Incredible Podcast is live. What's up, T-Roy, Troy Chapman?
What's happening?
As little as possible, and I am who?
The D.
Daryl, aka the D.
The Simply Incredible D.
Simply Incredible.
I don't know if you guys know that. A little behind the scenes.
Oh, we're going for a little tidbit.
This is for the Blu-ray edition.
All right.
That was his nickname forever. Like since I knew him, he wasn't just the D. He was the Simply Incredible D. So that's where the name of the podcast comes from.
You know where it actually first started?
Nowhere.
When we were training martial arts,
Yeah.
right after we had moved from Gold's Gym to the spot.
Yeah.
You remember the commercial, The Incredible Edible Egg?
I do. And
at some point, Jamie was like, The Incredible D. And I was like, that's sticking.
Dude, that's like sticking. It. I'm taking it.
That's sticking.
Good for you. You are incredible. Simple.
Yes, I'm very modest too.
And he's very simple.
I like the simple part.
Yeah. I love that meme with Drax. I too am extremely humble. One of my favorites. I break that out every chance I can. When some of these knuckleheads down here training, we'll talk in, this fake brag, humility, humble brag. That's what we call it. It's like
you can't get anything over my head.
I would catch it. I'm too fast. I love that.
Good old Dave the Batista.
Oh, good man.
The kids out here, you whipping them into shape?
Oh yeah, man. They're doing great too. Nice. I mean, everybody's making gains. There's a great family culture on the floor. Everybody is a joy to be around and they work hard. I have one of my fighters.
All that changed when I left.
Then it got great.
It got the awesome.
It got simply incredible. They say education's important. Jiu-jitsu is importanter.
Wow.
Just saying.
I mean, I tell you what, the English up in here is amazing.
Remember Chris Rock? I got my master's. Get your master's. Your master. You my master. I can count too. 1, 2, A, B, 4, 5. It's like, I don't think that's how it goes.
My favorite part of that, he's like, oh, yeah, you think you can kick my butt?
Of course, a lot of truth in that.
There was an edit there.
There was.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Family show.
Trademark purposes.
Just in case my little Riley watches this.
Hey, Rara.
Hi, Riley.
Hey, Connor.
Comment. I accidentally butt dialed him yesterday, and he called me back like super quick because he knows, okay, if he's calling in the middle of the day, something might be wrong. I was like, sorry, man, butt dial. And he goes, oh, okay, no worries. I love you. All right, before you leave, I love you. He goes, I love you too, Dad. He's like, you gotta grab those loves every time you can, every way you can.
That's right.
Wow,
that is right.
Super proud of that boy. He is killing it.
That boy good.
He's doing so good.
Good and terrible.
Not good and terrible. What you got there? Another book?
I have another book. There's a reason why this book is not up here yet, but it's going to be up here for, maybe the rest of the show. I don't know. I put these up here first because obviously we're doing a SpiderMan deep dive today.
Deep dive.
As deep as we can go, which may be only a meter.
Yeah. We're as deep as a mud puddle.
Yeah, I mean, there's some deepness there that we can't reach.
It's a great mud puddle, though.
But doggone it, we're going to try.
We're going to do it.
But what I wanted to say before we actually started, get the snorkels on and go,
deep diving.
Our friend, you remember Matt Slay?
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the podcast. Butchered the audio that day.
Incredible artist.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes. He did his first book.
Did he really?
And I happen to have a copy.
Oh, wow. Patchwork Ends, First Street.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
So here we go. He had it at Big Lit Comic Con, was this premiere. That was in July.
Okay.
Or no, that might have been beginning of August. It was beginning of August. And he just did Baltimore Comic Con.
Oh.
And he sold out of his entire lot.
I love it.
I was so happy.
Good for him.
So proud of him.
Yeah, why not, man?
That's
awesome. Way to go, Matt.
I mean, his artwork is amazing. And I think he said, I meant to message him before, and I was running late today, and ask him, because I know he said he's going to look into getting a second shipment or a second printing or something along those lines.
Okay, cool.
I figured I'd bring one so you can look at it.
Thank you.
I meant to. I wish I could have gotten one for YouTube, but unfortunately I could. But on the first ones, he would do a sketch.
Okay.
So I know people don't know me very well. So guess what I got?
What you got? Oh, Miss Harley Quinn.
Of course I got Harley.
Dude, Harley.
He asked me which Harley I want him to do. I'll let you look at it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I said, "Oh, I want old school onesie Harley because that's the Harley I grew up with on Batman the Animated Series and stuff like that. It's like that's my Harley.
Oh, this is really good.
It is.
Now, this is an anthology, meaning a bunch of stories, short stories,
I think it's going to be,
or this is a complete one story.
That's a complete. Well, he's going to have multiple books, so I guess this is just part one.
I got okay. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Mm-hmm. I like the black and white.
Yeah, I dig that. Eastman and Laird, old school.
Mm-hmm. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably got that from the TMNT, that original stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
love that
because he loves doing turtle stuff.
You ever read the very first issues of Turtles?
It's different than what you may think.
Oh yeah, it's
a lot different than what you may think.
Very much adult.
Very.
Yep. Which the thing about it is,
you know what? Oh, set this up here.
Okay,
Doc Ock, I'm sorry, buddy.
Just for now.
There you go.
When we get to Doc Ock time, he can have his moment.
There you go. So again, Matt, great job, buddy. Great job.
Congratulations.
So now,
yes,
where do we start with the SpiderMan?
I guess Amazing Fantasy.
I guess maybe even before that.
Okay, what you got?
Well, it started out that Stan wanted to do it.
The origin story.
Yeah, the origin of the origin.
Of the origin.
Yeah, he was like, I really want to do the story, and they're like,
no one want to read that.
People are scared of spiders.
Yeah, that's a bug.
Yeah,
people step on bugs.
Yeah, they don't want to do that,
and they stomp on spiders.
Mm-hmm. So they had a book. It was a dead book.
Yep.
Meaning it was literally on its last issue. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to put this story in this book.
Just see, it doesn't matter. It's dead anyway.
Amazing Fantasies 15.
The lesson there is that it is easier to ask forgiveness than permission. I did not say better.
Better.
I said easier.
Awesomer.
Because for 2 years in high school, when I got in trouble, I said, I thought you told me it was better to ask forgiveness than permission. He goes, easier, not better, easier. I was like, oh, okay.
And we live and then we learn.
And how about that? Now, you've read Amazing Fantasy 15, right?
I read it this weekend.
First time?
First time I've read it.
Really?
Yes.
Even like reprints and stuff like that?
Nope, never read it.
Dude, I had to. They had reprints way back in the day, and I didn't know they were reprints. Yeah. I thought I'd found an original copy. Well, I was, slightly
disappointed.
7 or 8. Yeah. But love that first issue. Oh, that's great.
One thing I found out about that, Amazing Fantasies 15, there's a line in that I was like, oh, it was attributed to somebody, but they didn't say it.
What are you talking about? What?
With great power comes great responsibility.
Uncle Ben?
He did not say it.
Luke, I am your father.
It was years later before he said that, but in the first one, there's a little block right above SpiderMan that those words are in it.
I didn't even realize that.
It was not attributed to him. It was just like, how you have those little blocks of like, like screen direction or something.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And I was like, oh,
it was not Uncle Ben.
He must have been making the wild rice or something.
But you know what? What a great thing to, attribute to him. Yeah. It's like, you know what? This could be improved. Let's make this personal. And I'll tell you what, that when I was a kid, when I read that and attributed it to him, it hit me hard in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow. The moral of the story is loved it. Love it.
And then you put the art of Steve Ditko with the words of Stan Lee. Ditko art.
Incredible.
Let me just
love it.
Let me bow to the altar.
I do. I love Steve Ditko
it is so good.
And the thing is, now we've attached, so much like just good vibes from it. You see it and immediately you're hit with all those memories of, that's what it was before it got like Todd McFarlane and these things.
Eric Larson's better than McFarlane.
You like Eric Larson better?
I like his Spider-Man better.
Oh,
controversial take.
Oh, I'm pretty big on Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. I love how
His
he
web.
did
His web is really good.
it. His web is the best, but I also like how he did the contortions,
Mhm.
you know, because before, I mean, even like the first cover,
Mhm.
he's pretty much Tarzan.
Yeah.
You know, he's holding this up and holding somebody there. And the first cover of Todd McFarlane's, I mean, he's a contortionist.
Yeah.
But is it up here? You
Yeah.
know, I was like, oh.
But you know what's interesting about that?
Dude, I'm sorry, I keep drinking. I
Well,
am dying after class.
It's really chilly in here.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But what's interesting about that ASM 300?
Yep.
The first Venom.
Yep.
But what's interesting is like the month before that, almost the identical cover he did for the Incredible Hulk.
Of the famous Spider-Man pose coming out.
Circle.
Oh yeah,
with
okay,
him coming through.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how many times are you gonna do the same cover? The next month, 301, same cover.
Dude, I like that.
And then if you look at Spawn, he's
I
done
said,
it
yeah,
again.
yeah. That's his little calling card.
I mean, it's why I don't like McFarlane.
Oh, really?
I was like, dude, I mean, how do you have a shoulder patting yourself on the back that much?
He's also such a businessman. Sometimes that biting business attitude is kind of like that.
I mean, for me, I said, I give the man tons of credit for
You have to.
He changed comics.
Yep.
He changed action figures.
Yep.
I mean, because remember, I don't know if you remember this, if you ever collected starting lineups. They're baseball figures.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it was
I didn't, but I know what they are.
It was basically 3 different poses, and with like a different jersey painted on the guys.
Kind of like the Green Army men.
Yes.
Laying down, bazooka, or
yes. Yes.
Unless you got the radio guy. Now you had something.
See, there you go.
The radio guy. That's
right. That
the prize in the cereal box.
Radio guy was the equivalent of the catcher.
Yeah.
Because the catcher,
had to look for him.
He had the glove up here. And he had the catching gear. So then he changed it to where these figures today look very realistic.
Oh yeah.
And that was McFarlane.
All of his stuff is the only thing. I'm not big on horror stuff, and he's got a whole line of that kind of stuff. I'll be honest, I don't think that stuff for me. I don't want that stuff in my head. I know.
Don't read this book.
I do. I guard against it because I think when people put that stuff in their head, it's like, man, I don't know. You gotta be careful.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful. What? Yeah, right. That's why I don't let him read when I'm around. You know, and I never was like that growing up, but as I've gotten older, that kind of a sensibility has kind of made me limit like what I'm gonna take and focus on for entertainment.
I can get that.
Yeah,
I can get that. I disagree, but I can get that.
Well, that's because you don't have kids.
To me, I'm a kid.
Yeah,
I have myself.
Not that you know of.
I have myself.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, how horrible would it be to see one of me running around? Oh my goodness,
Lord.
Okay, now we're going to start with anything else in Amazing Fantasies 15.
Let me think. The just the fact that if you look at the classic Peter Parker look. I mean, it really did define who he was. And I'll be honest, I know we're going to get to this a little bit later on, but like Tobey Maguire, I know that there's a lot of people when they saw that was their Spider-Man. And I know that they don't have to look exactly like but there was something about him that was so uniquely Tobey Maguire and not this. It was just like, I love the way they did Spidey like that. So just my preference.
I gotta be honest, I like Tobey.
Do you? I know a lot of guys. In fact, I'm probably in the minority.
I mean, to me, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Okay, that.
Next.
Amazing Fantasies 15. You introduce us to Spider-Man, Peter Parker,
Aunt May.
How he got it. Flash Thompson. Bully.
Yeah, totally. Douchebag.
You see the man trying. You see poor Peter. He's trying to talk to a girl. And
Flash is kind of
like, she wants to be with me. Bookworm. Which
classic.
Bookworm back in the day was a slap in somebody's face.
Yeah. It was like the Charles Atlas 90-pound weakling. Remember that in the comic books?
Yep.
That might have been an Amazing Fantasy 15.
I mean, that was our 1980s calling someone a nerd.
Yep. Grody to the max. Nerd. I remember before that. 70s was nerd, 80s was geek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what's a geek? It's like, isn't that Space Ghost Monkey? Geek? It's like, no. Wrong. It's like, that's not who it is.
Let's see. See, Flash being the jerk, and he's just trying to, hang out with people.
That's right.
Poor Peter. And so he and only people that really seem to like him are the people and the teachers.
Yeah, right. Well, because he's their best student.
Yeah, he's the smart guy. And then he goes to the science fair. They have the atom smasher, and somehow a spider just gets right in the middle.
That happens
More than you would think.
probably a lot.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of them bite me. None of those guys transferred anything except venom.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, and itch.
Oh, terrible. But you know what? What a great thing to get everybody who felt that way to not only identify, well, now we're pulling for you.
Yes.
Because everybody, out of all the superheroes, Batman, well, he's a millionaire.
Yep.
Like, Tony Stark, genius millionaire.
Yep.
This is a kid. And when did you start reading? What age did you start reading Spidey?
The first time I honestly remember SpiderMan.
Oh,
the Electric Company.
Yeah.
The Electric Company.
The first time?
That's the first time.
Oh,
remember,
wow.
I was on like 4 or 5 when that come out.
Yeah.
I'm a wee baby compared to some people I know.
You're a puppy. Me, I'm an old dog. No new tricks.
Did you watch that video I sent you?
Which one?
I sent you a video of the Electric Company, SpiderMan.
Oh, yeah.
It had Morgan Freeman on it.
You know, he was a regular.
Yeah.
All right.
I just when I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, that is baby Morgan Freeman.
Now, let me tell you something. When that would come on, Electric Company, the sole reason I would watch that was on the outside chance Spider-Man was going to be on.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't, I was pissed. Wasted all that time for Spidey and he didn't even show up. Oh, I was mad, dude.
I mean,
but when he was on, it made up for you.
It's one of those things when you're a kid, it's the greatest thing in the world.
Greatest thing in the world.
You watch it now, it's like,
that's really bad.
You had, what was the character's name? The Yeti?
Okay. Bigfoot?
Well, I know the thing was the Yeti because he was, frozen.
Okay, yeah, the abominable snowman.
Maybe abominable, but he gets into New York and he's hot. So,
this is the Electric Company version?
Yes, the one I sent you. And in order to get cold, you see different characters with something cold in their hand. The first woman has an ice cream cone. She sits on the bench and just sitting there reading. And the snowman comes and sits on it.
You don't?
I haven't recently.
Let me tell you, you want to cool off?
There you go.
There's a direct line to that thermometer.
So then he gets up, and this one's, hey, you sat on my ice cream cone.
Not that there's a Yeti.
and so then you see Spider-Man coming. And every time there are words, like a bubble pops up, and he turns and looks at it.
He's like, all right, kids, I'm encouraging you to read. It
is so good. But he does that throughout, and it's great.
I loved it.
It's so much cheese, but doggone it.
Now, I can't say that was the first place. I read the comics before I saw it on the Electric Company. But when I discovered that it was on the Electric Company, like I said, now I got to watch it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, that as a kid, that was a great show.
Yeah.
But when it was Spidey on there, it was an awesome show. You're like, and I love how like sometimes in the probably not the first season that they had him on, but later seasons, he'd actually show up in the beginning, little intro scene. They had all the guys come out, and then at the very end, he'd come and do his little low pose or something. I was like, Spider-Man! Oh,
it's awesome back then.
Oh yeah.
So, try to think who else was in the first issue.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Bonesaw?
No Bonesaw.
No Bonesaw?
No Bonesaw.
He
didn't even really have a villain in the first one.
He didn't have the wrestler, and
I don't think so.
I think he did.
He did have that event, but they didn't call him Bonesaw.
No,
I can't remember what his name was on it, but it
could have been like Bonesaw. The Crusher or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that in the movie.
Yep.
But it was really cool. So Aunt May, Uncle Ben, Spider-Man, Flash Thompson, which those are really the big characters.
Did he have Mary Jane? Was she in there?
No, she didn't come until much later.
Gotcha.
Because I think, gosh, doggone it, I'm pretty sure Aunt May kept saying, "Hey, I know this pretty girl named Mary Jane. You would
Wasn't
like
she
her."
next door? Like the girl next door?
I don't
No?
think so in the comics.
Okay.
Because when he finally did meet her, he was like, "That's who you've been talking
Yeah.
about."
This is what. Oh my gosh.
So, anyway, issue 1 comes out a while later. It was the biggest selling issue of that comic that they'd have. Interesting story. It's the only issue that was called Amazing Fantasy.
You're talking number 15?
Yes.
Yeah. What was it before then?
Good, because I wrote this down because this
Thank
is very
you.
important stuff.
Yes.
It was Amazing Adventures was 1 through 6, June 61 to November 61. Amazing Adult Fantasy.
Oh,
I wonder why they were shutting this thing down.
they had like big black bar across everything.
That was issue 7 through 14, July 61. December 61 to July 62. And Amazing Fantasy 15 was the last issue of that run. Was that August 10th, 1962. Now they did bring out like 2 or 3 more issues in the 90s, which like why?
Amazing Fantasy?
Yes.
Oh, because in the 90s, it was like this gluttonous influx of anything they could do to throw something out to bring money in. Personal opinion. That's why everybody had, this is a new number 1. There was like every day it was a new
Why
number
not
1.
started over with a number 1 instead of starting it at number 16?
Bingo. I don't know, man. That's I kind of dig what they were doing there, but I see what you're saying too.
It's like, well, you ruined the last issue was the beginning of Spider-Man.
Well, it's like Firefly, the TV show.
Uh-huh.
They do the whole thing and then it comes back, the fans cry out for it. You got to finish it. Epic. If you've never watched Firefly, what are you waiting for?
It is really good.
And the way they finished it up with Serenity at the very end, the movie. I mean, the ending of that movie. Wow.
Here's the thing. I saw Serenity before Firefly.
Me too.
I didn't even know Firefly had anything to do with this.
But it would have been like reading Amazing Fantasy 16 and loving it and finding out there's a whole bunch of stuff before, even if it wasn't good.
Well,
we're collectors.
It was literally 1 issue before.
But I mean, the other 14 Amazing Adventures and all those.
I wonder if those even have any value. I have never heard anyone even talk about those.
They've got to, just for the connection. Maybe not like
exactly
Spider-Man value, but
it's like when
wouldn't you want all of those? I would love those.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of questioning the Amazing Adult Fantasies. I'm kind of
not me.
that.
I'm in, dude. Show me what you got.
Okay, he doesn't like gore, but adult fantasies.
True. I said I got to watch everything that goes in my head. I can't police it all.
Yeah,
I just got to watch it go.
Now, when his official series begins, the first 9 issues may be the best 9 issues ever.
I had no idea. No, I don't.
Well, let me tell you why. I got to turn my page because I had to write this down. Issue 1, first appearance of Chameleon. Issue 2, first appearance of Vulture. Issue 3, first appearance of Doc Ock.
I hate to say it. Now I did read those.
Issue 4, first Sandman. Issue 5, first battle with Dr. Doom.
Yep.
If you're not going to have a first appearance, have a battle with Dr. Doom.
Booyah.
I'm like,
dude, awesome.
And then, you know what? Issue 6, we're going to start another first appearance. We're bringing out Lizard.
Yep.
By the way, I'm going to talk more about Lizard.
Love that character. Now, hold on. Do you know where I did read those? Back in, I guess, the late 90s. In the newspaper, the local newspaper, they would have a reprint in the newspaper of Spider-Man comics.
I did not know this.
I've got them. In fact, if I have doubles of them, I'll bring you them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they are real skinny. I mean, they're.
You know what? I think I have seen some because I think somebody brought them to the store one
had
day.
to and thought that they were originals
because he knew I read comics. I was like, they're not worth anything.
No.
And he was like, "Are you sure, man? It's first appearance." I was like,
look, it's a reprint.
This is back when Chris had the shop next door.
Yeah.
I was like, if you don't believe me, there's a comic book shop right across the street.
Go ask him.
Go ask him. He'll tell you the same thing.
But the value of that is not monetary.
Yes.
It's the fact that you get to peek in. Who
Mhm.
doesn't want to see that?
Yeah.
In fact, all of those old Marvel books, I loved reading like the Omnibus
Mm-hmm.
and being able to read those original stories.
Mhm.
I love that. And they're so bad in some ways, which makes them so incredibly good. You know, it's like, yeah, you can't do no wrong. Put it out there.
Mhm.
And like you said, Vulture, Lizard, Doctor Doom, the Chameleon. The Chameleon was the only one that I was like this. That came across like a real 70s, like,
Mhm.
you know, Chameleon, you know, it's like an Austin Powers kind of a thing. Like,
Yeah. You know, that was really progressive because it was in the 60s.
yeah,
That's very progressive.
well, he was hanging on.
There you go. There you go. Issue 7, second appearance of Vulture. Issue 8. Now I don't know who the Living Brain is. I did not read that one.
I don't remember that one either.
But
I bet you I've got it in those reprints because they did like 20.
And then issue 9 was First Electro.
Yep.
I'm just thinking to myself, hold on a second. That is one heck of a first 9 issues right there.
That's epic.
And when
what a rogues gallery beginning.
That's literally what I was about to say, because I was thinking, I've always thought Batman has the clear best rogues gallery.
Oh, dude, it's a toss up. Spidey and him.
And when I just read that part, and that's not even including Mysterio.
Yeah, the Sinister, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Craven.
We talked about that. Craven's movie getting ready to come out. Oh, dude, awesome.
Disappointing.
Oh, is it already out?
No, I'm talking about the trailer.
Oh, okay.
To me, the trailer's disappointing because they have him being an animal lover. I'm like,
he's a hunter.
Yes, it's literally Craven the hunter, not Craven the let me rub your fur.
Oh, it's because he's social justice warrior garbage.
So I'm trying to figure out how he's going to go from that guy to I need to kill Spider-Man.
Let's virtue signal with our villain.
Let's also not forget Rhino, Green Goblin, Black Cat, Venom, Carnage. You talk about a rogues just army.
Incredible. Rhino, there's something about Rhino I absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm.
It was the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
There is this legitimate Rhino that is walking upright.
Oh, darn it. I just realized I didn't bring the Rhino one.
Oh,
I meant to.
But he's got a face of a human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, this is perfect. First time I ever saw him was not with Spider-Man. It was with the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'll be honest, this is old school. It was those old little books that had the record in them.
Yes.
And you would listen to the record, read the thing, and do it. Oh, I love that one. Oh, I love that one. It was the Hulk, and he's standing there kind of like doing one of these things. And on that side, it was the Rhino coming running at him. And on that other side was the Abomination.
Oh.
And I was like, Friday night right there, baby. I was like, yeah.
I've recently started buying some of those things. I've got
absolutely.
I have 2 out of the 3 Star Wars ones.
I've got them.
I've got to get the third one.
I've got the first one.
I think Empire's the one I need.
I don't have Empire either. I have the first one.
And
that the one that's got Luke with Ben Kenobi, and they're kind of looking at something on the cover. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know because I haven't seen it.
I'm talking about the first one.
Oh, the first one. Gosh, I remember the third one has Darth on the cover.
Oh, okay. I'll look.
I don't know.
I know this is a Spider-Man, but real quick, Star Wars veer off. Do you remember the colored storybooks of Star Wars Empire? They were like real thin. They were hardcover, and literally it was pictures from the movie and the story written out for you. And we didn't have VHS,
right?
Back then. When those things came out, I swear, I think the people at our local bookstore hated me because every single day they had this kid come up. Has the Return of the Jedi storybook come out yet? No, it still isn't in. All right, click. Every day. No, Troy, it is not in. How do you know this is not Troy? This is Troy's dad. Signed, Juan Epstein's mother.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Little offshoot.
Yeah. Wow. Let's see.
Rogues Gallery, definitely super duper.
All right. Do you want to talk about any one of those in particular first?
You talking about the Rogues?
Yeah.
Gosh, pick one.
Well, let's start at the first one. How about that? Let's go with Chameleon. You
Yep.
did not like Chameleon.
It's not that I didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
but when you had somebody like Dr. Doom,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the Chameleon, literally, he's in a suit with a nondescript mask on because he can be anybody.
Right.
I just thought that was kind of lame.
Yeah.
You know, even as a kid, I wanted somebody who was going to take and blast lasers at Spidey or something, not like, I can fool you.
He pulled the John Cena on you.
Dude, that's the second time, and I don't even watch wrestling.
There you go. There you go. But, I mean, to me,
Did you like it?
I thought it was okay.
I thought the story itself
Mhm.
tied up good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, oh, we have an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, you know, because now he's not a kid trying to make money with his powers. He's got to step up.
I'll tell you, I found out today when I was researching this. I did not know this, and I guess I should have. You know who his stepbrother is?
Who, Chameleon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. I wish I would have researched this a little bit because I know when you say it, I'm going to trip.
I did not know he had a brother, a stepbrother.
Mysterio?
No,
Vulture?
no.
Gosh, who?
Craven.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I feel Johnny Carson. I
Did
did
you
not
know?
know that.
Weird, wild, wacky stuff.
Really crazy. Ed, what do you think? Yeah.
You are correct, sir.
You are correct.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
How about that? As if that connection needed to be there.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason for it. But later on, when Craven's first appearance is when he got Chameleon got locked up.
Yeah.
Craven come in to break him out.
Ah,
So that was Craven's first appearance.
segue.
There it is.
Bingo, bingo.
There you go.
Now, I didn't read Craven, anything with Craven forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even Craven's Last Hunt, I don't think I've still read that. Don't hate.
I'm not hating because I only recently read it. Recently, gosh, it's been like 4 years ago now.
That's recent. Whoa.
Wow. Okay. He does not like Craven.
Yeah.
He really hates Craven.
That's the second time that's fallen. We
Yeah.
did in our warm up that happened.
Look at that. You got it right this time though.
Oh yeah.
But the sad thing is I can't remember the whole thing, but I do remember this. It was nothing like that trailer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I stopped wanting them to make exact duplicates. That's done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I get try to modernize it, but you know, there's lines. There's gigantic lines.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying Spider-Man doesn't have webs in this one.
He doesn't have the webs here.
Yeah. Oh, I love those. I remember the first time I ever saw those, I was like, oh, he can fly now.
Yeah.
He can fly.
Yeah.
He's got webbing. Oh,
I was like, that is so awesome. Why did y'all get rid of that?
what a design they have. Oh, I love that. I do. I remember tripping as a kid going, look at that. That is so cool. He can glide. Because you know he's going to miss a web every now and then.
Yeah.
And he might be able to stick to a building, but if ain't nothing there to stick to, you're going splat.
Okay. One of the questions I've always had, maybe you can answer this question. He's webbing everything all over the place. Where are those webs going?
Okay, I do know this.
All right.
All right.
I recently found out. So.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Now go ahead. Tell me.
Not
Not me. Tell the world.
reason those things stick around for a couple hours and dissolve.
Mhm.
And the reason that I know that, one of these books that I got, it was a soft cover, but it was, a tall book, but it was a book, not a comic.
Yeah.
It was a book.
Mhm.
And inside it, it had all of these details about Spidey.
Mhm.
It was a story. And then as a little intermission, it had like 3 or 4 pages of just facts about him. Like, one of the things is, how strong is Spider-Man compared to the other big superheroes?
Mhm.
And they were showing him doing like a deadlift with a bar bending, and said that even though he's so small and not known for being like the Hulk,
Mhm.
he's creeping in on those kind of power levels because he's 10 times, the strength of a man with
Yep.
Spider. Boom. Incredible. They also had the thing about the web dissolving. People
Mhm.
always ask, where do they go? And you'd see it, and they had a picture of it dissolve. Oh. Then they had like a diagram of the web shooters.
Mhm.
And back then, he had a utility belt. And on the front of the utility belt, he could throw a Spider-Man you know how the bat signal,
Yeah.
kind of like a spider signal, but
Mhm.
instead of using it to signal for help, he'd spotlight the bad guys and then go off.
Oh, see, I always wonder because again, when I was really young, I didn't really read a lot of old Spider-Man.
Oh, I
So
did. Oh.
I used to see that light, that big circle, really of his face.
Yeah, with his big eyes.
Yeah, and I was like,
What is that?
I mean, is that like a bat signal? What is that?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
almost like, because
Mhm.
burglars in the
Mhm.
dark, and if you look at him, until recently, he didn't have a cosmic connection. He was your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's taken down, the pickpockets and burglars and stuff like that. So what does a burglar do? Well, he sneaks in places in the dark. He wants it dark. So Spidey light him up.
Mhm.
Ta-da! And then tell his
Yeah.
jokes. Yeah.
Did not know that either.
Love me some Spidey.
All right, so is Chameleon your least favorite?
Yeah.
Or who's your favorite?
Out of that crew right there,
Or any of them?
Man.
Any of the baddies?
it would be a toss-up. To say that I had a favorite, I love the Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Rhino.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now Rhino in the movie.
Oh, I was so mad.
That was atrocious.
I was so, because literally the thing that I loved about the Rhino when I was a kid and I saw how they drew him, he literally was a rhino with a man's face. It almost looked like he was this massive, if you will, juggernaut guy.
Yeah.
But with a rhino suit on, but it was boom, tight on him.
Yeah.
And this guy comes in, and that was from the Ultimate Spider-Man version of it, where they did the mechanical rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. I was pissed.
It was brutal.
I was so mad. Oh, but I absolutely love the Rhino. And I remember there was a time when the Rhino actually kind of stopped being a bad guy and started getting introspective.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember they had that one cover of him, like he's sitting by a tree smelling a flower or something there. I'm like, I'm sure there's a story there. I don't have time for that one right now. So maybe on the podcast in 20 years, I'll ask Dee about it. I didn't even know you then, but I knew.
I have never read that, and I really have no interest in reading that.
I think what it was is he's a criminal. He was trying to go straight, and he had some moment of clarity.
Do we know if he went back to crime?
Oh, I'm positive.
because what you're saying.
Well, I don't know.
Reminds me of a Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Where she gets out of jail, she's trying to do everything right. She goes into a place and she's going to buy some clothes, and someone runs over and tries to stop her because she doesn't have her receipt. And when she gets out of there, they're calling the police on her and stuff. She did nothing wrong. And she's like, I try to do good. I try to do right.
And they pulling me back.
That's it. I'm not trying anymore.
Give me that big wooden hammer. I'm slug fooing people.
I was like, oh my gosh, so good. But anyway, I digress.
Now, there's two that I would like to mention.
Mm-hmm.
The first one of the, back in the 80s, one of the best things was you were actually following a story every month.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd take you a year to kind of get a story together, to get it to some kind of completion and stuff. Mm-hmm. Not always, but a lot of the time. And they had one storyline of the Hobgoblin instead of the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And that was during the time that I was actually, I could walk down to the store, 7-Eleven, and buy a comic book,
mm-hmm.
and I was in. That one I thought was so well done. That's secretly one of my favorite runs of Spidey because of the time, of my life when I was into it. It was fresh. It was new, breaking new ground, a new bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt really cutting edge to me. Love that one. And the other one, the Black Cat.
Love Black Cat.
Love the Black Cat.
I have the first appearance of Black Cat.
Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man.
No,
was it amazing?
Amazing Spider-Man. Yep. 194.
194. I have to check and see if I've got it.
It's a black cover.
Okay.
And I mean, not like the 9/11 cover.
No,
it's black with
full.
her on it and stuff. Really hard to get in high grade.
Okay.
I bought one from Chris, and I paid a decent amount.
Yeah.
And I got it graded. I was like, this will also be a 9.8. This thing's beautiful. It come back at
6.5.
9.6.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, I usually don't care.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
But But that little bit, I was like,
I get the collector bug in you. That's
Yeah.
what that is.
but it's one of those things that a 9.6 is a massively high grade on that book.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. That's still
Mm-hmm.
epic.
Mhm.
I used to care, and take this with a grain of salt. I used to care bag and boarded.
Mhm.
Don't touch them. Don't read them. Because when I was growing up, I would share them with my buddies, and we'd fold them over and mark them up and whatever. I would take them to camp with me, and everybody there would be bending them backwards. I remember the one year when all of a sudden I got old enough. Don't bend my comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. You can read them, but you lay them on the bunk. And if you can't do it right, you leave it and you go, page turner, and I will come over and properly do it. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
All I'm thinking of is Eddie Murphy. There it is.
But I stopped caring whether they were mint, because I started thinking like this. The time I was worried about that, I was thinking they're going to lose their value. And I don't know what it is. I had like this epiphany where I was like, I don't want to sell my comic books. I was like, they're valuable to me.
Right.
I don't care. Now, if I had to put my kids through college, back in the day, but both my kids did so well. Connor's, the military is paying for his college, and Riley will have so many scholarships. I don't need to sell my comics.
Yeah. See, my thing is I like keeping them in really good condition.
Yep.
And the ones I get graded is just because I don't want them to get in worse condition.
Okay. That's good.
That's my thought. Now, I'm not getting like every single book graded like
Right.
these two.
Because it costs a lot to do that, right?
Yeah, it's about $15, $20 a book.
Okay, that's
then shipping.
substantial.
So maybe 20. Maybe. So
Love
this is right here is probably my favorite cover.
Would this be considered a Silver Age book?
I think 1970s. I don't how much. What's the price on that one?
12 cents.
12. I think so.
Yeah. Love that era.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the art on this, not just the drawing, but the color on it, just the overall hue, the look.
Mm-hmm.
It's seriously like, you're like, man, that's one of the 12 cents originals back in the day.
Yep.
That's art.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I could not dig that more.
I'm assuming that's Dicko, which I it may not be. Look it up.
You might have to look. And it does have the Comic Authority.
That was started in the late 50s.
Yep.
I think 57 or so ish. Let's see. That's an issue 18. Talk some of yourself while I do this, because hey, don't look at your phone while you're live.
Yeah, right. Not a good thing. I'll tell you some of my very favorite comic book covers in that era. I love the Submariner.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're pretty common, so they're not worth a whole lot, but they're 12, 15 cent cover price, and I don't have them in great condition. But Submariner versus the Thing in one of them. Oh,
yeah.
It's like one of my favorite covers.
Those are John Romita seniors. I should have known that.
John Romita.
I should have remembered that.
Love him.
Excuse me, John Romita.
Not
there's
senior.
Junior. Then there's John Romita.
Then there's the original.
Yes. It's like Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Now, you don't call him Dale Earnhardt Sr.
He got mad at that. He got really mad.
Oh, really?
People come, hey, senior, and he'd be like,
I ain't that eld. But, oh gosh, what was I going to say? God bless. Hey, being old.
That's a me problem there. I messed him up.
Do you do that?
I do that all the time.
I am so bad about it.
I brought this book out and I set it down. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get some water and just put in the car with me. And I took them out of the thing. Is the last two I had in the pack.
Yeah.
So I threw the pack away. I go over and get the 2 bottles. I go to the car. I get in the car and I'm like, where's that book at? It's still in there.
That's so me, dude. I will go upstairs looking for something. And as I'm walking up the stairs, my theme music is playing in my head. Just this, where the clowns are about to come out. And I get up there and I'm like, what am I up here for? And I have figured out a trick. If this ever happens to you, here's how you can have one possible way to deal with that. Go into, when I go up into my bedroom, couldn't figure out what it is. I'll walk into the bathroom, and just open a drawer and start looking around. Don't even know what I'm looking for. And I'd say 8 out of 10 times it'll click. Socks. I don't know why toothpaste ever reminds me of the socks in the other room, but when I start looking, it'll be like,
he's like razors. Oh yeah, I gotta shave my legs.
I gotta
therefore I
shave
need
my-
socks.
I need socks. You see,
There it is.
you get me.
There it is.
I used to have like no hair on my legs. I'm diabetic. So, you know, there was maybe a blood flow problem to my legs.
This is an interesting thing because my brother, diabetic.
Yeah.
I used to joke with him. I was like, why do you shave your legs? He's like, I don't.
I'm the same way. I had a guy in here in jiu-jitsu say he was a cop and he's looking at me all funky like,
dude, I'm innocent, man.
Yeah.
I didn't do
Coach,
it.
You shave your legs? And I was like, excuse me? No.
If I'm not mistaken, there used to be a coach that did shave everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Slick Rick. No,
Right said Wilfred.
he has no eyebrows. Take it a little too far.
Now, let's go to the villains. I mean, it's Doc Ock.
You see, I got it. Socks.
Ox.
Socks ox. You got it. No, what I was gonna say
there's
was
probably people that watch this in the back, they'll be like, dude, he was talking about Doc Ock. I can't believe he forgot that.
well, as a matter of fact, it was about Black Cat. I remember reading Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. That's where I got that storyline from.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Oh, they have that one cover. And I would say that this great cover, because when I first saw it, I was like, what the heck am I looking at? Because you see Black Cat facing you.
Yeah.
You see Peter Parker facing away from you. And you see him like his mask is like half off.
Yeah.
But she's not looking at him. She's leaning over looking at me.
It's like, I don't think you would do that.
I'm like, what am I looking at? I have to have this comic because of that.
If you find that like picture like somewhere on the internet, send it to me because I don't think I've seen that one.
It's from I'm pretty sure it's Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man.
Peter Porker?
Peter Parker. Great character, by the way.
Great character. Do you remember reading that as a kid?
No, I didn't read that until a few years ago.
Oh, dude. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, what? And I read one of them and I was like, this is brilliant. As a kid.
Spider-Ham,
dude. The only thing I didn't like, it was really wacky artwork. And I was just like, wow, that looks like, Crazy Cat, Adamant and all that.
You remember What If? Okay.
Absolute, probably outside of a comic book character, favorite comic book series.
Great stuff.
Of all time.
Now, do you remember
Loved What If?
What the?
Yes.
To me, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
You have Spider-Man, Spider-Ham.
Oh, love it. What the?
What the is Spider-Ham?
Yeah. Love it. Dude. No.
Hello. I got them to go so I can read.
Oh, but that's
Cosmotron. What's going on?
Cosmotron.
What is going on? How's everything going?
Cosmotron.
We're just talking. Our in-depth dive is swimming.
And I'll be honest, this might have to be a two-parter. We're almost at the end of our allotted time.
We got a whole 12 minutes.
Let's go with the 2020. No. Fast forward. Hey, I will say
2020 for 500, Alex.
Yeah, dude. I will say one of my favorite things in that era before we move on. Nicholas Hammond. Spider-Man TV show.
Oh.
Did you watch that like live when it came out in the 70s? You're too young, right?
You know what? Now that I'm thinking, I was like, I don't even remember this.
What?
I remember. It's like for me, it went from Electric Company to the animated series.
Oh no.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
No.
There's something in between those two.
Oh, Friday night. Oh, The Deadly Dust was one of the episodes. All right, they did a live action Spider-Man in the 70s. I can't remember if it was before the Hulk came out Yeah, it must have been before the Hulk. And you talk about tripping. Imagine how you felt about the Electric Company Spider-Man. But now, instead of him being out there with Morgan Freeman going, for his bubble, this was like a prime time TV show. And it was fantastic. Now, if you watch it, it's crazy because when he would take and shoot the web, you would see this rope get pulled and it was like a white rope.
Hello, Roy. How's it going?
Hi, what's up?
Ray. I need like reading
different glasses.
I need
you need bifocals.
I do. I've got to look this up because I did not even know that.
Really?
I did not know.
Dude, you're gonna love it.
Like, I mean, I'm speechless now.
I
don't know how I did not know this.
I
remember
they did an origin.
I remember Hulk
series too. Like there was a show about him getting bit and finding it out and stuff.
So I remember Hulk. I remember Captain America. Remember those? Was it two movies?
Yep, TV movies.
Yes,
I watched them just earlier this year.
Yeah.
Wow, those are bad.
The first one was hot trash.
Oh, dude, Red Brown, come on, baby. Still better than what was it, Matt Salinger, who played the Captain America with the rubber ears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think was that like 1980 or something?
A little bit later than that because I remember seeing the movie poster for that going in to watch Batman, the first Batman with Michael Keaton.
Okay, so it was around 90 then.
Yep, and it was coming soon. And all it was Captain America's shield. And I lost my mind. And it never came out until years later on video. Oh, you've got to watch the Nicholas Hammond. Now,
yeah, message me that. And I'll message you the picture. Yes.
Yeah. Now, what about the Japanese Spider-Man?
I do remember seeing some of those.
Okay. What about?
I think I saw those on YouTube.
Oh yeah. That's the only place you're going to see them now. What about the Turkish Spider-Man?
See, I'm pretty sure I did see some of that, but
if you haven't, I'll send you a little clip. It might be on YouTube. Yeah. Wow. Oh wow. Now Spider-Man in Japan was crazy because it was like Power Rangers instead of Spidey.
Yeah.
But in Turkey, dude, it was like a regular action movie, but they put the good guy in a Spider-Man outfit. Awfully good. The only reason I even knew about that is in the 90s, I started doing tape trading because, it wasn't like DVDs that everybody had everything that you could ever want. Someone printed on a DVD. So they would have these tape trading forums and I'd go on it. And this guy would have, hey, I've got all of the Japanese Spider-Man. What do you got? And I'd be like, I got the Turkish Spider-Man. And you'd make copies with 2 VCRs set up and send them to his. And I got a huge collection like that.
See, I remember those days.
I love those.
Yeah.
There was nothing better than getting a box in the mail and you open it up and it's nothing but the crazy, corny old videos. You're like, oh, I'm busy for the next 2 months.
I've got to see these.
Good stuff. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
That's awesome.
Huh?
I said that's awesome.
Oh, you're going to love it.
That's awesome.
And if you guys haven't seen it, you got to look at it like this. It's not great Spider-Man stuff, but you have to take it for what it is, that these people were infringing on Spider-Man's rights because they didn't care international law. And they're going to take and do whatever they want with it. And it is hilarious. Nothing but a good time.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it.
I'm just that song is now in my head now.
Nothing. When I came out my mouth, I was like, he's gonna thank Brett Michaels right here.
Right off the bat. Boom.
Right here.
Boom. CC DeVille.
Really great until he's drunk.
I mean, that hair was like this big.
No, that voice. Yeah, man, I'm about to play. Oh man.
Gosh. I like his guitar.
Yep.
I didn't like his voice.
I think he's doing better now. For a while there, he got really out of hand. He got really, really big, heavy. And I think he's kind of sobered up a little bit. He's getting older. You got to act appropriately. You're going to kill yourself. There's only one Keith Richards.
Y'all see the newest episode of Dawn of the Dead? No.
Trying to think who was in that one.
I don't know. I've never seen any of them.
Oh, no.
Apparently it's a TV show. It said the newest episode.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen that.
I do like the movies. Remember that one with Bing Rams?
Wait,
They're in the mall.
Wait, isn't that a horror?
That one is, and I don't mind zombie movies. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I don't know.
That was interesting.
Well, I'll be honest. Here's the thing I don't like. I don't like things that
Make you go,
are demonic. If they've got like the devil and demons and that kind of a thing, my personal opinion is I don't want that in my life. I don't want it in my brain. I don't want it in my head at all. And because I believe you got to be careful, man. That stuff will creep in, and that's how he does it.
I mean, is that one line that I used to have all the time? What comes in will eventually come out.
100%. And there's a lot of, right. I had this guy I did a job for, a concrete job for, and family's so nice. Love the family. Great. One of their kids is like either a senior in high school or freshman, sophomore in college, that kind of age. And I had to ask him, hey, can you move your car? We're going to bring some equipment in. Is that okay? And he, oh, yeah. And before he got out, I was looking at his car, and on his car window, I think of the back window, but I mean like the full window is a picture of Michael Myers with a knife going. Like he put a sticker on the damn thing. I was just like, I'm turning my back on him.
Okay. A friend of mine, you may like this, you might think this is horrible. He put out, this was back in, like early mid 2000s. It was a zombie bikini calendar.
Ooh.
Funny as
two of my favorite things, but they should not go together.
And honestly, when you see it, it's like, it's tastefully done.
No. You can see through a boob with their ribs. Like, no.
I think he must have seen it.
I can imagine.
He did it 2 years running.
Did he really?
Yeah. I told him, I was like, dude.
Who did this? Matt?
No. One of our friends from up north. And he was like, man, I should have. I told him, I was like, dude, you should come down here and do something. He's like, no, too many Christians down there. I was like,
he's right.
I was like, you're totally wrong. Because, dude.
Oh, really? I would
agree
with them.
Liberty kids up here.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, there for a while, every year, they had a zombie walk downtown.
Oh, I remember that. Did you ever do it?
No.
I
mean, I already walk with a limp. I don't need to act like a zombie.
He goes, they call me that anyway.
So, and I was like, I'm telling you, dude, you come in here that week, you like set up somewhere. I bet you sell a ton of those.
I bet you sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never wanted to do it. I was like, dude.
No, I can get that. That's a big drive if you're not sure.
We have family down here.
Oh.
Come down, stay with them. You're not getting a hotel.
Do they still do that or no? Is that like ended with COVID or something?
I don't know.
Speaking of which,
last time I remember was years ago, and it was like the height of The Walking Dead is when I really remember it.
I remember watching that first episode of The Walking Dead, and I was like, oh, they're going to put real money into this. This isn't going to be, this is good.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Until
I didn't.
I really started watching it again. I was like, man, that first season was gold.
Epic. So was the second season.
To me, I think the first 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And then,
which is normal. And then after that, you're milking. Yeah. And it's like, don't milk it. When it's like Seinfeld, when it's done, walk away on top.
Did you see the end of The Walking Dead?
No.
Do you even care?
No.
Because there's something that happened in the very first episode, or maybe second episode, when Rick gets to Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay.
A helicopter goes flying over.
Yep.
Like, okay, who's flying this helicopter?
Yeah. Never even thought about it.
Later on, he dies.
Yeah.
But
it's Rick from the future.
Somebody with a helicopter comes down and picks him up. And I'm like, all these years later, in between these two things, is this the same helicopter, same people in the same helicopter?
And we don't know.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Because he's supposed to have his own thing coming up.
So Rick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we'll find out, was that helicopter in season 1 the same helicopter when somebody come and picked him up?
Didn't it trip you out to hear him speak in interviews?
Oh my gosh,
with his English accent?
Yes.
He does such a great American accent, I guess. He's a little bit Southern, but not crazy hillbilly or anything. Right. No idea he was English, and he started talking. Hey, so what are you doing? Who is that?
I think Maggie, isn't she also British?
Yep, she's also British. So is Henry Cavill.
Yeah, it's like, no, you can't No,
Logan is from Australia.
he from down under.
He from down under.
What's her name from Chuck? The Strahati.
Strahati.
The Strahati.
Where's she from?
She's from Australia.
Oh, she's so
When I
fine.
saw her on Chuck, I'm just like,
I remember you
she
going on and
is-
on and on about.
she is the girl of all girls.
Yeah, dude, you don't understand. You talk about like a famous crush. I heard about that girl, and I only watched Chuck a few times, and I love it.
It is a great nerd show.
It is. But it was the same thing with like Big Bang Theory.
Mhm.
Love it. But it took me
Yeah.
a long time just to have time to say,
Right?
all right, let me sit down. But oh, she was fine, dude.
She was.
She's
And,
fine.
and then when I first heard her talk, I was like, who is this woman?
Yeah, why are you
I mean,
faking
is she
it?
preparing for a role from playing
Pride
from
and
Australia?
Prejudice and Zombies?
I mean, is she gonna be
Real movie, by the way.
the crocodile guy? Is he gonna be the wife in that or something? I don't know what's going on here.
Speaking of which, what do you think of Killer Croc in Suicide Squad?
I loved him.
I did too. And what about, was it Killer Shark in the second one?
King Shark.
King Shark.
Yes.
All right, King Shark.
Yes.
Loved him.
He reminded me so much of what was that?
'Cause they made him almost retarded. Like,
What was that one? Jabberjaw?
Jabberjaw.
Yeah. I will tell you this: when I was watching
Love those
Suicide Squad, they're in that bar. He's like, "Y'all all ugly." He's like, "I'm beautiful." He goes, "Yeah, you are." I'm like,
Jabberjaw.
it's like, why was that? Why'd you have to ruin that movie with
Now-
the Joker and ruin that movie with the popping and locking Enchantress?
Oh, dude. Awful.
When I saw her, I'm like, wait a minute, is this the 80s? Are we breakdancing over here?
I'm a fan. Turbo, Ozone, and T-Roy.
What was the woman's name in that?
Special K.
Really?
Absolutely.
Was her name Karen?
Her real name was Lucinda Dickey.
No, I mean the character's name. I mean
Kelly.
Okay, because I figured with a K it had
Yeah.
to be the first letter. Oh,
I know way too much about breaking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
why?
Love it. I'm not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I hate you.
Sorry, not
I
sorry.
hate that so much. Well, anyway, we're right at an hour. Yeah, we'll come.
We got to do a part 2. There's too much here.
Yeah, because we kind of faded off at about the 35-minute mark.
Dude,
That's what we do. But hey, you know the positive side?
it's a party. Always a party.
The positive side is we actually talked about this first and then
And then went
faded
off.
instead of went off on the tangent and then a half an hour later. Oh yeah, we got a subject to talk
We're
about.
improving.
Yes. Golf clap. You know the senior tour golf clap?
What's that?
See, we used
You
to,
mean they forget to do it?
we used to
walk
joke
around in a
about
circle?
this. It's like the crowd for the regular
Oh, yeah, so
for the senior tour
good.
because they're deaf and can't hear.
If you didn't know this, Daryl is actually a world famous putt-putt golf champion. World famous.
I actually have trophies. Yeah, because for me it's regular size golf. But actually, they used to have putt tournaments, and I won a few.
I
of them.
remember.
And I'm also I'm trying to be a world famous disc golfer.
You're on your way, bud.
I am.
On your way.
And if you haven't, please follow Simply Incredible Disc Golf. You can see me
Absolutely.
hitting trees with frisbees.
I'm
not
gonna
on
go,
purpose.
I'm gonna go. I was like, man, bullseye. Every time you do that, you need to say the word bullseye.
Just
There are no
just-
mistakes on your.
Just watch the one me and Jason just put out. There's one shot he threw. Oh my goodness. It was literally the worst shot I have ever seen. I mean, when we first went playing, this shot was worse than that.
Oh,
He threw a shot. He pulled it because he left hand. He pulled it. He hits a tree about 50 feet in front of us.
oh, okay.
Comes down. It starts slowly rolling, just slowly rolling. And by the time it stopped, it was about 15 feet from the tee pad.
Ah,
I was like, I literally looked at him and it's actually on
clean
camera.
living.
I said to him, no disrespect intended, but that's the worst shot I have ever seen on this hole. He was like, sure is.
Like, I'm 15 feet away. Thank you.
No, he's 15 feet away from where he threw it.
Oh, I thought you meant from the actual.
No, not
hole.
from the hole. No.
I was like, lucky
It slowly just crept back.
back to him.
Yeah. And it ended up like slightly down the hill to the left. I'm like, literally the worst shot I have ever seen in my life.
I told you my one and only disc golf.
And by the
adventure.
way, if y'all want to see Troy on the disc golf channel, me and him playing around, let us know.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be cool.
I would definitely do it.
I will do it, and I suck. So
There you go.
this will be your blooper reel. I'm terrible.
I try to edit out most of them.
There, you won't have me on the video if you take them out. I went to Play It Again Sports and got me a disc, and I was so excited because they started putting the disc golf stuff up in Tech Trails. That's where he plays. That's where I would trail run. And I was like, when I saw those, I was like, dude, yeah.
You don't want to play that course.
No?
My goodness, no. Literally the toughest course, maybe one of the top 20 in the world. I mean, that is a brutally difficult course.
Okay, good. Because
we're going to go to Peaksview Park.
Okay.
Okay. See, now you have a baby course.
Okay, I could do the bunny slope.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Well, you may fall and twist an ankle, but you'll be all right.
That's okay. That's okay. But I took and said, all right, here's my idea. I'm gonna take and trail run, the disc, and run after it, grab it, and go again, and see if I can't get my workout in and make it funny. Because I got ate up with chiggers so bad because I was in the weeds so much that I was like, I ain't never doing that again. My ankles itch for 2 weeks, dude.
I think you'll have fun.
I'll do it with
you. So we'll try to set that up.
All right, cool.
All right. But that's all we got. We're at like 106. Apparently the internet is coming and going. So anyway, we're going to check out now. Anything else?
No. I'll see you guys next week.
You guys have an incredible day.
See ya.